episode of Let It Happen. I'm Caitlin Stammis with a very special guest, Dennis Tracy, tonight. We are having a review with Dennis. Welcome, Dennis.
Thanks for having me, Caitlin. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, so here's my first question for you. February 26th, Fuller House will come on to Netflix. Do you think this will live up to the original show?
Well, if you were a fan of the original, I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. If you weren't a fan of the original like me, probably not going to care for it all that much.
Yeah.
I think Full House, when it was on, and the popularity kind of came from like the Nick and Night reruns, because like everybody that grew up with that network were growing up with the repeats of that and like George Lopez.
Yeah.
I didn't find it funny. I thought it was kind of pandering to the audience a little bit. And when some of the critics at the Netflix panel that happened a couple of weeks ago with their media press were talking about the show, they thought, yeah, this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see like if some of the critics that were talking about the show at that time enjoyed it or if they hate it. So
Well, they didn't even get the whole cast together.
yeah, the Olsen twins weren't even a part of it, and I think Stamos and Bob Saget only have like small cameos in it.
Yeah.
Like they're not huge cast members. It's mostly focused on like the kids that grew up.
Yeah. Well, that kind of leads me into my next question. This is more your ballpark, but Better Call Saul season 1 was recently put onto Netflix. Does this fit the same hype as Breaking Bad?
You know what? I think it does. I was a little concerned at first when they announced that there was going to be a Breaking Bad spinoff because at that time Breaking Bad was already wrapping up and it was becoming its course of like one of the greatest television shows of all time. The final stretch of episodes is phenomenal in quality. And so when Better Call Saul aired, it took a couple episodes to like really get into the tone that like this is going to be a little bit different. And I think it worked. And by the end of the season, it was definitely finding itself to becoming a great show. And early buzz of Better Call Saul season 2 definitely has been saying that this is going to be much better. And it's the show that like people have grown up to like enjoy. So I'm really looking forward to it. I don't think it's like necessarily jumped the shark yet. So.
All right. So this is kind of on the comedy side for everybody out there who likes New Girl, but the past month, New Girl season 4 came onto Netflix.
Yeah.
Do you think the show has gotten better as the seasons keep going or kind of worse?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, you have a strong ensemble. I've always liked Zooey Deschanel, and I think that, like this has definitely been like her big breakouts role. And with this season, season 5 that's currently airing on Fox, they started early to like shoot because she was going through with her pregnancy, and so they got Megan Fox to come in, and people have really enjoyed that. Like, I think this is a very solid show on Fox.
Yeah.
Everything on Fox has always been
very
great
good
with their comedy lineup. So
yeah.
no.
They do actually have a really good cast. It's a fantastic cast.
Absolutely.
So this is kind of into everybody who likes their Marvel, but Jessica Jones was a huge hit this last year, and they just renewed season 2 on Netflix. So what were your thoughts on it?
It was definitely Marvel's most ambitious project to date. Like, Daredevil was fun, but Jessica Jones really got the mature content that like Netflix was pushing for with the show. So like gender identity, like rape and trauma, all these like super serious topics that like really don't get focused a lot in superhero shows. They nailed it, and they nailed it hard.
Yes.
I think what was part of the problem with like Jessica Jones was it was 13 episodes, and it definitely had a story that was more suited for like 8 to 10. So I definitely enjoyed it a lot. I think David Tennant is phenomenal. I think Kirsten Ritter has always been a great actress, and this was definitely her breakout role.
Yeah, that was one of my personal faves.
And she's had like a lot of like crap beforehand. Like there was a comedy show on Starz that was just super awful, but like she made it just a little bit tolerable to watch, and like I'm finally glad that she's got something that
She's done a lot of minor roles throughout her career, and this was her first big one. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I totally agree with you. This is one of my favorites of the Netflix year. Go check it out. So I know this is really big up Dennis's alley. He loves this, but season 10 of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, huge show. We love it. It came on Netflix a few weeks ago. Do you think this is a show that people who haven't watched it should invest time to, or 10 seasons in already?
Totally.
Yeah.
Sunny in Philadelphia, you could pick any episode of the show and you'll understand what the concept's about. They refer to it as Seinfeld on crack. That's what the advertising was.
Yeah.
And the show got bigger because they added Danny DeVito as the
He's
twins'
huge.
father, and it's super hysterical. And I think the ability to have 10 seasons of a show and
Yeah.
still like want to have the motivation to do it and like have all the writing there, it's phenomenal. Like season 10 had an episode where they made fun of like Family Feud. They had an episode where the gang just like goes and gets trashed on an airplane line,
Yeah.
trying to beat like some baseball records, like amount of like beers that he drank before taking a swing. And then there was another episode, Charlie Work, that kind of parodied Birdman, which was all shot with like
Long, continuous
Yeah.
scenes. Yeah.
And it's super funny and super creative, and I don't think the show's lost its touch. And you can't really say that for a lot of shows that aren't aging like this.
Yeah, that's true. I think, for one, that show has one of the greatest ensemble casts we've seen in a really long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Charlie
So-
Day is hysterical.
Yeah, he's somebody who I really enjoy. He's been on a lot of things, and I think he's a really good character to have. He was really good with Jason Sudeikis. So
Yes.
yeah,
I liked Horrible Bosses a lot.
they're really good. So Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yes.
Now that was renewed for 2 more seasons. Do
Which
you
is
think?
more than what NBC would have given it?
Really? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think so too. I think it's a fantastic show. Oh, I thought it was so good. It was her first big role in a series besides The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was absolutely hysterical. I think the show was super funny. I remember like sitting through like the back half of the first season and
Yeah.
at night, like I couldn't put it down. It was like the first Netflix show that like I truly binged or whatever. On
Yeah.
Whatever people go by. So I like to say marathon because I think it's better than binge. But Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt season 2, I think it's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be super funny like it was beforehand. I'm hoping that there's like more music because they did a really nice job with like,
Yeah.
the original content with that.
Oh, they really did, for sure. I thought it was a great job, and I think you're right. I think this is one of those shows that you kind of see almost like Broad City on Comedy Central that only the smaller networks will pick up because a lot of people are too nervous to move on from that. But
Like
Thank-
Noir, absolutely hysterical.
great. Most Side of the Jungle, great. We have so many good ideas for you, and I guess that kind of concludes our review with Dennis. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Kayla.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this.
So check out everything that we talked about on Netflix and go have some fun. Netflix and chill with your pillow. See you later.